Accept that. So today we're going to be chatting about for sale by owners and expired. So kind of thinking along the lines of creative ways to get listings. Obviously, we all know what both of these are, and I'm sure we've tried to get one or have gotten one, one of each or whatever through the years. But just want to kind of chat about it. Talk about why they're potentially valuable to our business, and then maybe just kind of just some creative ways to make it work or potentially grab one of these. So I just have some slides here, and as always, if you guys have any anything that's worked for you that you want to share with the group, any ideas that you've come up with, that's kind of what this is really just, I think when we chat about it, it sort of comes to the forefront of our mind, and maybe we, hop on the bandwagon and maybe go out and try to find one. So that's kind of what we're going to be doing today. So when we talk about for sale by owners and expireds, it's really just a creative way to get listings. So, obviously, even with the most recent, changes we've come across, I don't know, personally, I love the idea of getting listings, and I'll work with buyers, but if I can get listings and sort of need, and stay away from that whole buyer thing, or and still be making a living, that's kind of our thought process. So just a creative way to get listings. So another thought behind taking this route to try to get a listing is, what if we have buyers and we can't find the right property? They're searching the MLS, they're just not, there's just nothing out there that mute those guys. So, if there's nothing out there, our potential to find a for sale by owner or potentially an expired, for one of our buyer clients. And then, I've always heard this since, almost since the first day I became licensed, and it's just listers last. So listing agents, I think maybe we have a hair less stress than some folks are, like sort of 100% buyers agents. So, so just kind of thinking, along those lines, if we list, we can get the calls, show the property, while we're doing whatever, and potentially sell it, just because we had the listing. So just kind of thinking along, starting to think, about, why we might want to take the effort to do this. So where can we find FSBOs? So obviously just I say drive-bys, it's probably maybe not the best wording there. So we don't want to, but, driving around, if we're in a neighborhood and we see a for sale by owner, if we hear about it, we can swing by and grab the phone number off the sign. We will talk a few times today about the do not call registry. So we really do have to pay attention to that. So that was a whole separate lawsuit not long ago. So just making sure that we're allowed to call these people. But if the sign's in the yard, and we call them, and potentially have a buyer, or hey, we start offering some advice to them, we can actually do that. Of course, when I say call, call or text, depending on kind of how you want to do that. So that nasty Z word, but we can actually use this Zillow Realtor to our advantage in this case, because both of those sites, and really there are so many more, Trulia, homes.com. I mean, there are a lot of websites that will allow just a homeowner to list their property on the site. Sometimes they pay, sometimes it's a free one, but there are for sale by owners on both Zillow and Realtor. So, and we may not know about them. So unless we happen to drive by or we're in a neighborhood that's, for another listing and see a for sale by owner, but actually going to these sites and just clicking a few buttons, we can actually see, um, homes that are for sale by owner. And Zillow also has, I think they call it Make Me Move. So there's actually, some properties on there that, they, the term Make Me Move is, hey, you got somebody that wants to buy my house. Let's chat. So, but just a couple good options to, um, potentially find a property. And I will say, the ultimate, I can remember a few times when I talked to a client or a customer that maybe was trying to work with, and an agent would call up and say, "Hey, I have someone for your house. Can I come chat with you, or can I take a peek at it?" And and then I say the homeowner finds out that you really don't have a client, because then all of a sudden you're not bringing someone to look at the house. So be careful with our talk track. We don't want to say we have a buyer if we don't have a serious buyer, just to get in the door, that we can't do that. So just make sure our talk track is down, so that we can offer to help them. We can certainly give them advice, but unless we actually have a client to bring through, don't say that. So websites, I listed two of them, but there are truly a bunch more, but just two of them, FSBO.com and ForSaleByOwner.com. Again, you know, all we have to do is hop on there, and if we know Lakewood well, or we are looking for a lakefront, or Chautauqua, or Jamestown, whatever, just there on all the websites there's a map, and it's all the for sale by owners that are for sale, so, and prices. So just a matter of us sort of taking the time to to do a little research, and again, see, hey, if we just want to try to get the listing, or if we have a buyer for it. And then, of course, lastly, just direct mail or cold calls. I say cold calls, but if we drive by a sign, we are able to call them, text them, be very upfront. Hey, I am a real estate agent. Don't try to hide that, because trust me, they're a for sale by owner for a reason, and it might not be the best reason. We could probably help them get more money for their house, but if we just come in hot with just a bunch of talk, it could come back to bite us. But just a few things that I have done is either mailed or dropped off the property condition disclosure, because they probably don't know they need that. So so it's like if we can just offer them some help, or if we're able to get in the door and just talk about, hey, let me just swing by in case I get a buyer. But in reality, we could walk through it in our 15 minutes, whatever time frame, and maybe give them some advice on staging, or should they paint a room. What is their list price? Maybe we could do a CMA. We did a session on unsolicited CMAs. So if I'm going to reach out to a for sale by owner, an unsolicited CMA is not a bad idea, because I mean, if we're going to just print one out and mail it to them and put a little handwritten note in there, hey, just wanted to do this up for you, happy to chat anymore, more if if you have any questions about it. So just some ideas about, obviously where to find them, but also, having a talk track is super, super important. If we're not prepared, first of all, to just start the conversation, and be prepared for a few objections, because obviously we get paid way too much. We really don't do much work. I mean, they're a for sale by owner because they're looking to magically sell it and save a few bucks and just thinking they can do it. But sometimes sort of staying in touch with these folks as well is super important because that first time you call them, text them, stop by, mail something to them, they're potentially annoyed. But maybe after a few weeks and they've had to show the house on Sunday morning at 9 or whatever, or can't show it because they're at work, they potentially start getting overwhelmed. And if we had a good talk with them, didn't promise anything, but maybe even provided some value in those early stages, we're going to have a lot better chance to maybe have that second conversation with them, or certainly if they're frustrated, for them to reach out to me or one of us, to have that further conversation. So that is for sale by owners. And then the expireds, I'm gonna kind of just talk about, again, obviously we all know expireds exist and we can search for them, but we're gonna kind of talk about, just getting creative with expireds as well. So just some things to do. So check the MLS daily. So obviously, we're in the hot sheet every day. If an expired's on there, and if it's a property that we would potentially want to list or, feel we could do a good job with it, it's in our, realm of expertise, just checking that daily. And then I will just always do some quick research. So I'm gonna, see the expired. It's 123 Main Street. It's like, yeah, I mean, I'd list it. I'd try to talk with them to potentially get the listing. I'm gonna just go back in the MLS and look up 123 Main Street. And is it under contract? Did it sell? And somehow just expired. Of course, was it relisted? So before I go too far, I want to kind of just go back in and just do a search for, that address. And of course, we know everything is going to come up. And at that point, what do we, what do we, what's my next move? If it didn't come up and it's truly an expired, then what's next? And I kind of put it in there. What's the best way to reach out? So, I'm a fan of trying to do a little, research and sometimes, is the address in the MLS correct? Should I write them a note and mail it? Should I, try to reach out to them via a call or a text? Should I swing by and chat with them? So, we got to kind of figure out what we would, kind of what works best for us and which, that I would feel most comfortable with. Obviously we have to realize that, if we're going to mail something, I don't know how many agents are working expireds or even a for sale by owner, but the homeowner getting 5 letters in the mail that says, hey, I can help you, that type of thing. You got to just be ready to step out of the comfort zone a little bit sometimes. But one thing we can do is I'm not afraid to look at the listing and if the pictures weren't professional, if you can kind of pin, I don't want to, I would never put an agent down, but I can make a case with a homeowner that maybe the property could be better represented, maybe the description, the pictures, price, whatever. So just kind of think of that all as you're ready to touch base with them, because again, we need to make sure that we're prepared for a conversation. I mean, you can't just call them and wing it. So just kind of have a talk track ready. And then just a piece where it's, I wrote create a database for multiple reach outs. So I just, if I do reach out to really any property, of course, I'm making a note, 123 Main Street. I'll just do a spreadsheet, 123 Main Street, the owner. If I have what contact info, I'll make a little thing like, what did I do? I sent a handwritten note. I stopped by, whatever. But just creating that, because again, you know one touch might be might not work. So remembering who you contacted and sending something else out, or doing a second touch point a week later, 2 weeks later, whatever time frame, is easier if we're just keeping track of it. So in really we really have to be aware of, a for sale by owner is listed it themselves because they truly feel they can do it themselves. Like they're like, I can put a sign in the yard and I can show it. I know my house better than anyone. That's their reason. So when you talk to them, we can't say we're better. We can't say we're more prepared. Obviously we with the training and the experiences we've had, we are a better person to list a house than even a homeowner. But we can't come in hot saying, oh, this, that, so we have to watch that talk track. Well, an expired is really grumpy, like really grumpy, and they're grumpy at every single real estate agent. So I mean, just think, like, I've always been told that really when a homeowner lists their house, they almost think it's sold, like we're selling our house. And and again, they 90% of the time think it's perfect, and or just understand if there's an issue. But mentally they are sort of sold when they sign the paperwork, and it's our job to finish that. So when it expires, if you reach, when I say be ready for an objection, or be ready for with objection handling, it really, that's really going to test you if they start throwing out, like, my agent this, my agent that, all you agents, that type of thing. So again, little thick skin, but we need to be prepared to to say what, I mean, it did expire and there is an agent that couldn't sell it for whatever reason. So us coming in, we have to be prepared to to tell them why. And if it's a conversation about I could take better picture, I could represent it better online. If it's, hey, I really think that we have an issue with price, so or condition, or location, I mean, whatever it is, that's a conversation we're going to have. So if I'm going into it, I need to know, or I need to be ready to have those conversations. I'm going to just pause for a minute. Anybody have any questions? I want to make sure if you can either unmute yourself or throw something in chat. Again, I'm going to pause for a minute in a second and just kind of see. I would like to know, like, who is working either for sale by owners or expireds, and whether you've had any success or frustrations with it. All right, so tips and tricks for expireds. So when and this really works for sale by owner if you kind of need to do a little research, but I use Spokio. It's just like a white pages app. So but it's I don't know, maybe $10. I don't even know what it is, $10 a month, but it's pretty good. So if I put a phone number in there, I can get a name. If I put a name, I can whittle down. It's not always perfect, but I have had success getting down to a phone number. So, so me reaching out instead of me just sending a sort of a form letter or whatever, just know that, I've been able to send some texts to start a conversation, and I've actually, had luck with them being, thankful they didn't just get another letter in the mail from an agent that said, "Hey, I could sell your house." So, or throwing stats out. I've sold, $10 million the last 3 years or whatever number. Just kind of think of it, as a creative way. But again, Spokeo, just an app for trying to best get contact info. Next thing, I just put more effort equals better results. So, same thing. If I'm sending something, unless it's a CMA or, something like that, there's a handwritten note in there. The envelope is handwritten. So, again, I listed one last year, and they actually, when we did chat, they said, "Do you want these?" And they just handed me a stack of envelopes from agents that, it was a form letter of, same, printed out and just throw it in an envelope and a stick, address label on it, like, just almost no effort. So just think about, kind of doing that handwritten note idea. They see the envelope, it's handwritten, more likely to open it, and more likely to engage. So, a quick a handwritten note that says, "Hey, hope all's well. Sorry your home didn't sell." Like 2 sentences, and then maybe a CMA with it, or something else with it. But that handwritten note, sometimes goes a little further because they know you just put in that effort. And then I put phone calls, but it's really, phone call or text. Again, just a little effort, and, going above and beyond a little bit more, to touch base with them and see if you can help. And then the last thing, just getting creative with searching in the MLS. So, when we talk about expireds, obviously if we're checking the thing every day, the MLS every day in the hot sheet, we're going to see one or two or whatever. But just think about, just go back in the MLS, just search it, just expireds for the last year. You're going to, there's probably going to be hundreds. I should have done it, but there's probably going to be hundreds. So, if you just want, this is the piece where you're going to have to, if you put a little effort into it. But, if you got 300 of them, just sit down for a couple mornings, take an hour or something, and just print it out in, 123 Main Street. Go in the MLS and search 123 Main Street. Did it ever sell? Even though it expired, you could do this from 2 years ago. There were folks with, from the COVID days that didn't end up selling but maybe now they're ready. So, so just a thought to back it up more than just the last 3 days or last week. Back it up a year or whatever time frame, and then just take that sheet and, go one by one and just see how many of them, maybe never did sell. And again, those are pretty simple to reach out and just, sort of mention that, just wondering if you're still looking to sell. Always apologizing for the house not selling is a good thing. But because we don't have a ton expire every day, just a thought to go back a little further and see what else might be out there. So that is what I wanted to share today. So we kind of went through it quick, but again, I truly think that it's just, if we think about it and talk about it, then you can take that idea and start putting your own little plan together. I truly think that if you built a little system I have to believe there's a for sale by owner or an expired out there that you could list one a month. I say easy. It's never easy, but there's some opportunities out there. So I just wanted to make sure we just chatted about it and brought it up. So I'm going to just pause now and just see if you guys have any questions, but I'd really be anxious to hear if anyone has or and just has experience with it or is kind of currently working either a for sale by owner or an expired. So I'm going to just pause for a minute. Someone's got to be.
Hey, Wayne, I haven't worked for sale by owners or expireds in a while, but one thing I do is if I have a specific buyer that's looking for something and he's very active, I do just directly reach out to homeowners, neighborhoods that he's looking in and tell them I have somebody. And if you're interested, and that does work. It's worked for me many times over the years.
Yeah, I love it. It's the same thought process. I mean, it's for sale by owner, isn't expecting to hear from us, and expired's grumpy, but but I love the idea of actually, helping a buyer, by getting creative and in reaching out, not waiting for something to hit the MLS. So I love that.
Right.
Love it. Anybody else wanna? Come on, Heidi. You've I don't know if you have, but I'm just
I
curious.
mean, I send out like I made postcards. I send out postcards. Like I guess your whole thing with, more effort equals better results. My effort hasn't been fabulous.
Yeah,
I just if I see an expired that I would like to have, I send them a handwritten note. And for sale by owners, I send them a postcard. So
yeah,
that's
yeah,
about it. I don't know why the phone call, I think with I don't know if it's our generation or whatnot, but really don't. We're kind of in a weird place where the phone call is kind of intimidating, and then the text seems impersonal or something
yeah,
like. But I think that generations younger than me think that everything should be done via text. So maybe I don't know.
yeah,
I don't think phone calls are bad. I mean, one good thing about a for sale by owner, you're halfway there because they want to sell.
yeah,
You know,
Hmm.
and especially if you have a potential buyer for that type of property. Um,
Yeah, I just am like really like weird and shy about
I
asserting
wouldn't be,
myself.
yeah, I wouldn't be worried about that. I would just call them. Most are going to tell you is no,
Yeah,
okay, move on.
yeah.
I need some role playing first, I think.
Yeah, that's actually not a bad idea. That might be something that might be something where we can do one in our next release where we actually kind of do some role playing because I mean it's sort of twofold. You know, uh, I mean we fear we fear rejection, plain and simple. So,
Hmm.
but yet, like Richard said, well, if they just say no, but that's still a hard call to make because if I hear no, I'm gonna be like, what? So, but also if I've always been told that if you make that, I mean, I literally have put a phone number in and just sat there for minutes, just like, should I push send? Should I, I mean, because it's just, we just feel that. So, and whether that's for, whatever, a new recruit or whatever that you need to make. So it's that fear of rejection. But, I also kind of get to the point, it's like, well, yeah, if you hear no once, you're like, all right, I'm just going to call another one. You kind of get in the mode. So once you do one, it's like,
Right.
well, can't get any worse. So,
It's
and then maybe you have two or three and trust me, when after you make three calls and however it goes, like that fourth one, I don't want to say is easy because you just never know, but trust me, it gets easier to start that. But yeah,
Right.
I mean, if you don't want to do the call, and the text seems but write a nice text. I've written it and not sent it and then reread it and changed it up a bit and just kind of, if you can write a good text, like, maybe it'll hit them at the right time. And if you don't, well, you'll never know. So maybe the text is worth it to try, and just see if you can get a response. So.
Yeah.
Like the old cliche says, the more rejection you get, the more successful you are because you're doing something. But I'll tell you the truth, if you're a little worried because I hear, oh, it's Heidi Johnson calling me from Real Estate Advantage, maybe you should just say, hi, this is Heidi from Real Estate Advantage. And then if you get a positive response, then you can say Johnson. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Otherwise, trust me, once you hang up that phone, they forgot about you. They don't remember your name. If it's a no, they ask them an hour later. They don't remember who called. I bet money on that.
Yeah, it's yeah, I'd love to just see over the next month, I'd love to share with the group, like if anyone just attacks even if we just do expireds or something, I'd love to hear if anyone grabs one, and I'm willing to share whatever I have to for everyone. But I keep it simple, so I'm not, simple is better sometimes. So,
Well, with phone calls, though, you can cover a lot more ground, and it's just next to free. Just your
yeah,
time.
yeah. Just it's that effort. Although I agree with Heidi, though, just that, just a little bit of fear. So,
Yeah, no, I mean everybody has. It bothers me sometimes too to make calls if I want to call somebody about. But once if they're short with you, I let them know. Okay, thank you for your time, and
yeah,
you back out. But if they want to talk, then you'll pat yourself on the back. Hey, that it was worth the call.
yeah,
You
yeah,
don't know till you call, but yeah, that's one fear. I mean, I know that's a fear for people, and it is somewhat for me. But you get over it, you make a few calls.
yeah.
Hey, Richard,
Yeah.
isn't that considered a cold call or unsolicited
You mean
calling?
if I directly call somebody because I got a specific, well, first of all, we're talking about expireds and FSBOs. And if it's a FSBO, I would think they've already opened up that they want to sell their house.
Yeah.
Okay, I just wondered about
Yeah.
the rule that the governor still has those calls locked down, don't they?
Yeah, definitely have to be careful with it, Jim. I mean, without a doubt. I'm not, like, I don't know, years ago, you can just grab the phone book and go one by one and,
Right.
whatever. So yeah, there's definitely, but, for sale by owner, if you're calling with, like a legit customer, or if you're just calling for a bit, for advice, you're safe. And in the expireds, it's not the same because like they're not listed right now, but sometimes I will start with a handwritten note and then just, like quickly, like say a 2-day follow up with a text, and
Well,
then it's almost like you've introduced
if
yourself.
hey Wayne,
Yeah.
our internet connection's unstable, it said here for some, but
Oh,
yeah, if it's a for sale by owner, I mean, if it's on Zillow, especially, I don't see why you can't call them because they want people they're interested in selling their house.
yeah. Yeah, I was always told, like, I kind of mentioned it, is real, like, don't call up and say you have a customer and then don't, because like they're going to catch you in that one. So if you're calling with a legit customer, or
Oh no, yeah, if you don't have one, just
yeah, or just don't say that and just try to come up with a plan to offer them help, kind of thing. So, but yeah, you just don't falsely represent yourself.
right.
And I think we're good, but definitely have to be careful with the DNC don't call list. So
I heard an interest. I've never tried this, but with a for sale by owner, I've seen where agents have offered to sit an open house for this for sale by owner, and then turn, the buyer comes in and now you're representing that buyer to buy that house. So just a idea of something to, because you want to offer them a service, right?
Yeah. Yeah. That, so something like that, a CMA, giving them some paperwork that they'll need, just show some value and, then say, hey, good luck, but then follow up, hey, look, if it sells in the next week, they weren't going to use you anyway. But if it's around a week from there, man, you follow up with a call or a text at that point, like, hey, what else can I do for you? They'll take your call or not be grumpy with you. So, but I love the idea of the open house. I mean,
I've called and just said, like, one-time showing agreements, things like that as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Love it. All right. Anybody else have anything? Appreciate the interaction there.
Yeah,
No.
it's nothing's worse is when you get crickets. It's like every public relations meeting that I chair, I'm like, okay, guys, somebody pipe up.
Yeah.
So
Is
Wayne,
everybody alive?
Yeah.
Wayne, what do you want to do the next session? Role playing for
Yeah.
FSBO's listings?
Yeah, I think we maybe like after this, like our schedule's set through October, but like in November, I'll just put a role playing one in there. We can role play the, representing a buyer with the objection that, I haven't seen it yet, but I'm gonna, we will all see an objection where a buyer doesn't want to sign that form, or but we can certainly do a role play with, an expired or a for sale by owner.
Okay.
So yeah, I think it's a great idea because you get comfortable with it. So,
So what's on the next one then?
next one, we are doing properly working your sphere of influence. So we're just going to talk about your people and how to be in contact with them and stay in contact with them. So that one's another interactive one, but I'll have some ideas and thoughts and things on certainly what I do, and we can share ideas, but working your sphere is next.
Okay, well, we appreciate time today.
Absolutely. All right. Thanks everyone. Have a great day.
Thanks, Wayne.
Thanks.
Okay, guys. Bye.